Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to show you how I wash yarn that I get from the thrift store. Sometimes I bring it home and it looks really dirty and I'll want to wash it before I make a project. A lot of times I'll make my project and then I'll wash the project. But I got this yarn today at the thrift store and it kind of looks dirty and dingy. It's like it's maybe a vintage yarn. I don't know if they still make this or not, but I've never seen this before. This is Karen Victorian Gold, 95% acrylic, 5% metallic wrap. It's a 4-ply yarn, 6 ounces, and this is in the color Mistletoe Ombre 1953. And I got it for 99 cents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this band off, and I also purchased this today, this little cutting board for 99 cents. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to wrap this yarn around and around this cutting board, and then I'll show you what I do. So I'll be back in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around this cutting board, and I'll show you what I do next. Okay, now you can see I have wrapped the skein around this cutting board, and I did it lengthwise. You could use a book, you could use the back of a chair, anything you have that would be big enough that you would be able to wrap it and still be able to tie some strands around it. So what I have here is I have some scrap yarn, and I'm just going to cut some little ties from this scrap yarn, and I'm going to make 4 ties in it. And once I take this off of the cutting board, I'm going to make my tie. I'm going to tie it, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, now you can see that I have tied this skein with my scrap yarn. I tied about 6 places. Now if I would have used a longer or a thicker item to tie this around, it wouldn't be this thick. See, this is pretty thick here, but I wanted to use something that would fit in the frame of my camera. But it would be better if I had used a thicker book or something. But I wanted to show you kind of how I do it. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my water, and I'm going to make up my bath solution, and I'll show you how I've done that. Okay, here is the little pan that I'm going to be using to soak my yarn in. And this pan, it's one like you get from the hospital. I have put 4 quarts of water in this pan. And I put 1 teaspoon of clothes detergent. I don't use dish detergent because it would just make so many suds. But you could use between maybe 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of clothes detergent. It just depends, I guess, on which detergent you're using. I also put a little bit more than a teaspoon of baking soda to take care of any odors, if there's any odors in it. And I'm just going to drop this yarn down in here. And you'll have to press it down to get it to stay up under the water. And as it absorbs the water, it'll flatten out in there. And I'm going to soak it in this water for probably a minimum of 24 hours. And I'll probably soak it for 48. And after I take it out of the water, of course, you'll have to rinse the clothes detergent out of it. And you can either squeeze the excess water out, which this is pretty thick to do that with. But if you've made it a skinnier skein, if you've used a bigger book and made a skinnier skein, it will be easier to squeeze it out. And you can squeeze out the excess water after you've rinsed it. And then you can wrap it in a towel to soak up any remaining excess water. But what I normally like to do is I like to put it in my washing machine and put it only on the ring cycle by itself. There's nothing else in there. And you can wring it out in your washing machine, and then Hold on a second and I'll show you a skein I've already got ready. Okay, here's another skein that I've already done that to. This was a cotton skein, peaches and cream, or it might have been the sugar and cream. But I've already done this one. I washed it, I soaked it, I washed it, and now you see here it is. It's already dried, and now all I have to do is ball it up. So that's how I handle yarn that I get from a thrift store, how I wash it before I make it up into a project. Thanks for watching my video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like my videos. Thank you.